Welcome to the Real Female Entrepreneurs. Today's guest is proof that brilliance and backbone belong in every boardroom. With over 2 decades leading at Fortune 100 tech giants, she's built products from zero to global scale and knows exactly how innovation moves from idea to impact. Now, she's shaping the future of AI powered product leadership while lifting women in STEM every step of the way. Please help me welcome the amazing Nita Laad, founder and CEO of Nexia AI. Welcome, Nita.
Thank you so much, Angel, for having me and this wonderful conversation. I'm very excited.
Oh, I am super excited. AI is like on the top of everybody's subject line. It has to be spoken about. And you have so many ideas and what's happening and the concepts that are going to be happening in the future. Do you mind sharing some of those with us and what your company actually does and can do for them?
Absolutely. So, my company, Nexia AI, is actually focused on building a software platform that will help product management teams to accelerate from ideas and customer feedback through launch. So the big scenario that's happened over the last year is that you might have heard that artificial intelligence can now write code. And what that's done is it significantly accelerated the process of software engineering. But what AI has not yet accelerated is the process of gathering customer feedback, synthesizing that feedback, looking at internal product data, and being able to accelerate the decision of what should we build, why we should build it, and how we are going to serve our customer. These questions are very key and they almost decide the revenue trajectory of companies in our ecosystem. And that's the use case that my company solves is we look at different types of data that exist in the enterprise, right from the feedback that your customers are telling you in interviews or surveys, looking at data like your IT service desk tickets, looking at data like your net promoter scores, which is how happy your customers are with your product, looking at how they are using our products, which we call product telemetry, putting all of that together and then realizing your unique strategy and your unique context and then automagically kind of building a roadmap for you that's going to help you to maximize your business. So extremely exciting use case to be in this moment, and I'm so grateful to be able to participate in this in solving this problem.
So, okay, that this is amazing. So it's actually going to take what our customers are saying and maneuver that and position us to where our income stream can be if we did
Absolutely.
this, and this. Wow. Now, let's take it a step further. What is the size of the companies that actually usually do these things with you right now, and where do you see it going in the future?
Absolutely. So, right now, the biggest challenge in product management lies with the biggest global companies in the world, the Fortune 50s, the Fortune 100s, because their products have massive scale. We're talking about products that bring in 50, $60 billion in annual recurring revenue. What that means is their customer base is also extremely wide. And the issue becomes which customer do I make happy? Because all customers want different things. Not all customers want the same things. And so all of your customers, your sales teams, your partner teams are kind of bringing in these requests of what you should build and when you should build it, but you cannot build everything at the same time. You have to prioritize what you build, right? So the biggest challenge today lies in the Fortune 50, Fortune 100 realm, where enterprises are really looking at we have this massive data center that carries all of our enterprise data. We have a massive customer base of millions of customers that are asking us for different things. And then we as a company want to achieve certain financial or market share goals to get to the growth trajectories that we want to go after. And so it's this This problem is highly complicated. You have hundreds of product managers in your organization, and every product manager or your salesperson is talking to a different customer. So, how do you bring all of this data together into a centralized brain that can think across your entire organization? Today, this problem is so complex that if a general manager wants to make a decision, he or she has to call a meeting of hundreds of people in different groups, and it goes through like tons of negotiation. You go get data from IT. It takes you 4 to 5 weeks to analyze that data. But with a solution like the one we are building, GMs will now be able to make decisions within hours, not weeks or months or years. And it gives you this tremendous cognitive freedom to now use the humans that you have, these extremely smart individuals that you have, to actually drive the business and not spend all of their day running analytics or building slide decks or building documents. And this newfound cognitive freedom can actually scale your business to the next level. So our mission is not to eliminate jobs or replacing humans with AI. Our job or the outcome that Nexia AI is looking to drive is to accelerate the cerebral capacity of every human, every product manager, every product management GM within an organization. We don't measure ourselves with, how many features we released or how much code we wrote. We measure ourselves with how much time did it save our customers in terms of getting the answer to a certain question that they have that our analysis can produce. How much incremental business or KPIs was the customer able to achieve as a result of our platform being in the organization. This is where we're trying to take a journey with our small set of customers that we have today, and we're looking forward to expanding that customer reach and the customer impact as we continue our journey into the next few years.
Yeah, because right now you're dealing with the high tech 100 top Fortune, 100. Do you ever see yourself building a platform for for smaller companies and entrepreneurs? You see that down the line. Awesome.
Yes, in fact, I'm so glad you asked this question because our first release is actually we have a product that is built right now, but it's ready for SMB and mid market to use. And my first mission was enterprise can afford or has the resources to be able to use artificial intelligence on a daily basis, and there are many companies kind of aimed at that, but I wanted to expand the intelligence within the platform to address a broader market where these brands or these companies may not have the resources that of an enterprise, and they don't need the sophistication of an enterprise. So we actually have built a starter offer, and this is an all-in kind of software platform that any small business or any mid-sized company can just adopt at a fixed price, so that they have complete budget predictability, and it still gives them the best of both worlds, which is you have the features that you need, you don't need the complexity of the enterprise, yet you have the power of AI and the acceleration that it gives to your organization to be successful.
Wow. Okay. So I'm putting on my list to do because it's something I'm going to want to do down the line. I know that because it's going to be key to growing everything that we do in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're on the cutting edge of it and you're making it possible for us. Thank you.
Well, I was at a point in 2024 in a very comfortable job, and I remember sitting with a lot of senior leaders, and we were all talking about how should the world of product, or how should the art and practice of deciding what to build, when to build, how to scale the business, how should that evolve with like AI coming into the picture? And it was this pivotal moment where one of us said, all of us are going to talk about it, but only one of us is actually going to take the risk and go make it happen. And I decided it was going to be me. so So your your statement there kind of reminded me of that story.
So that is the reason you started. That is magnificent. And, um, so that made you start one aspect of it, but what brought you into the other aspect of dealing with smaller companies as well? Is there just you saw a need for it, or what was it?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I started the company, the first part of building a great company is designing to your customers. So you never build to what you think the customer needs. What the customer needs has to come to you through customer interviews, through feedback, through market research. So I did a lot of things. I spoke to a lot of customers in different verticals, which is different segments like healthcare, finance, technology, banking. And I also spoke to different market segments, which is small companies, making less than $100 million, mid-sized companies that's $500 million plus in revenue, and then the larger stuff, the large companies that I had worked for. And when I kind of spoke to the entire ecosystem, it was very clear that the need for a solution like this did not just exist within a particular market segment, which is a fixed number of users within a segment or a vertical. The need was very broad, and I had to make this decision of how do I modularize my product so that everybody gets different blocks of features that they need, and and I'm able to serve everybody's needs. And my personal principle as a leader is you as a company are only as good as the customers that you serve. And because I heard that feedback so strong and so deep from all of our customers that I made this decision that I was going to make an attempt to kind of serve different segments of the market through different product packages.
Okay. All right, so we're just gonna dive right in and ask you this next question, because I would love to know if you could write a letter to your younger self, knowing what you've done, knowing what you've built, knowing what you learned, what would you tell your 18-year-old self?
I think the first thing I would tell her is you don't need to chase perfection.
Mm.
Um, when I was raised, the way I was raised with a bar of excellence. So my parents always expected me to have straight A's. They expected me to be an athlete, like be the best at whatever you do. And every outcome or output that you produce has to be set to this very high bar. But when you kind of take a path of entrepreneurship, this is a path of imperfect progress. It's more important to quickly put out an imperfect product and iterate versus putting in a lot of effort to make something perfect or very sophisticated. Second, I would tell her to go with the flow and experiment with choices.
Mm.
I again, it goes to a cultural thinking where I grew up in India, so the popular career options or paths were you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be an engineer, and within an engineering, you got to go be the computer engineer, right? So that's what I did. And then when I came to United States for my master's, it was once again that same predictable path of you got to go get a job, you got to get a promotion, and you kind of try to grow in that corporate ladder, which is very predictable, but also it's not uncomfortable enough. And I spent a lot of time with entrepreneurship at the back of my mind, and I finally took the leap. And I've had to change the fabric of my being and my mindset to adapt to entrepreneurship. And I think broadly, these are the two things to my 18-year-old self: is you live once and take the risk and live holistically.
That is great advice to everyone out there, not just to your younger self. All right. What was a game changer in your business? Yeah, you took the leap from corporate. We get that. But what was the game changer in your business? Maybe something that you did or that flipped the switch for you to become the person you are today.
I think the game changer for me was when I learned how to gracefully fail. It sounds kind of cryptic, but when you receive failure as a leader, or when you receive feedback from a customer or from a partner or from your employee on certain aspects that need to change, or certain critical feedback, or during lead gen I didn't win a certain deal, you can take that feedback as like a negative force into your leadership style, and it can disappoint you, it can de-energize you. Or you can also take that feedback as the biggest gift that's going to help you accelerate your leadership style, your business, and your ecosystem. And so, how you kind of break down and translate that feedback and take the great lessons from that feedback and apply them pragmatically is what gives you the success unlock. For example, I built the first version of the product myself. I prototyped it, and customers absolutely hated it. The first version, it was embarrassing. But and almost that day, I told my husband, maybe I should quit. Maybe this is just not for me. I mean, I heard such terrible feedback. But then I slept on it. I woke up the next day and I changed my mindset. Instead of taking that feedback and being like, okay, I'm not going to go down this path of entrepreneurship, I went back to my customers. And instead of asking me if they like it or hate it, I asked them, how would you like to change it for you to buy it? Same outcome, I mean, the same situation, but that led to a very different outcome. It made customers feel that I was listening to them, their feedback was valued, and I took those changes and I reiterated the next version of the product. And the reaction was like, you know what? That's exactly what we want.
Yeah.
And so this extremely negative situation can become your biggest superpower if you know how to kind of face it. And I think failing gracefully is a quality that every leader must learn and adapt within their daily life, especially in entrepreneurship.
You know what? Especially what you're doing, Nita, because it's such cutting edge, they weren't ready for it.
True, true that, but it's only as good as how much they're ready for because they're paying for it.
Yeah, but you didn't take the no and take a hit. You went back to them and said, "How can we make it work for you?"
Yes,
And
absolutely. And the feedback was you got to dial down the cutting edge stuff a little bit more because we're seeing it as a risk. When you put too much change in front of humans, it can be scary. So
yeah,
the path that we're on now is you cannot dial up the change from a 0 to a 10 because adoption or adjustment to that change can become very difficult. So you dial it to a 3, and then you go to a 4 and an 8, and you kind of take the human on a journey with you because change can be very hard for
okay,
humans.
wait, that is amazing. Take the human on a journey with you, especially you doing AI. They have to go on that journey with you, otherwise, they're gonna put a halt to it because they're not used to it.
Absolutely, and Angel, like there is also human mindset because of everything that people are reading on the media right now.
Mm,
There is so much resistance to AI in some ways because sometimes people can feel like, oh my gosh, this is going to take my job, and that's not the case at all. In fact, I'm kind of positioning the product to accelerate them. So there's a lot of mindset shift that has to happen within the industry with what we're
yeah,
building.
yeah. It is, and here's the thing, guys, I need you to understand this and tell me if I'm right and I'm understanding you right, Nita. Guys, Our customer are tech people right now. Am I right? A lot of them in the beginning were tech people. Is that right or no?
That's right. That's right.
And so the meaning that the fact that they were tech people, they already were savvy enough. Just think how your customers are feeling about it. And so if you just take her suggestion to go out and say, how can we make it better for you? What a difference. Because that's what your AI whole program does anyway for the whole entire company.
That's right. That's an important question to ask. Is my value exchange as an entrepreneur, is my value exchange and why my business exists is because of the value exchange of what I provide to you and the financial benefit that you provide to me. So if I'm not regularly talking to you about how do I make your life better, how do I change my offer for you, I think that leads to a much better outcome on both sides.
Yeah. Awesome. I see a book about that, just so you know. All right. Also, are you open to write a book? Because I see it.
Maybe someday, maybe
Yeah,
someday.
definitely. Especially with that question, surrounding that question, because that's what the question, that is the main question to be able to get the business that you need to survive on. Mhm. All right.
100%.
No filter here. I need you to be honest with me. What do
Yes.
you wish most entrepreneurs, mindset wise, would kick to the curb? What would they stop believing?
Can you expand on the question a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. So, some people, some entrepreneurs think, oh, this is just going to be so easy. Yeah, become an entrepreneur. It's going to be easy. Or
Hmm.
or they might say that, oh, if you just go do this one post, you're going to make $1 million. What is the
Hmm.
mindset that you wish that they would just stop believing 100%?
I think the reality of entrepreneurship is only known to the people that take the journey, and that's the beauty of it. Because when you're on the other side, and you haven't taken on, haven't lived an entrepreneurial life, people only see, I mean, there are some highs and lows, right? So generally people see the glamorous side where obviously it's a fun side. We're doing this podcast, there are media appearances and articles and all of the good stuff, and they think that the outcomes that are happening for your company are happening by themselves. But little do they realize that every step of progress takes sacrifice, it takes perseverance, it takes grit, and people have behind the scenes faced a lot of rejection, a lot of failure, a lot of moments where they almost didn't make it. And the first thing I would say is the mindset that you need is you don't take the path of entrepreneurship for the title of founder and CEO. Do not do it, because you're going to be surprised and shocked, and especially in tech, over 95% of tech companies actually fail
Mhm.
because the mindset is not correct. The most important mindset one has to have is what is the problem I'm trying to solve? What is the mission that I have as part of this building the company? And then what am I willing to give to make that mission successful? Success in entrepreneurship comes at a cost. You have to be willing to put in the work, the discipline, give up some hobbies, give it your all. And it's also possible that it might not work out. So I would say lock and load on your mission. And that mission also, it cannot be something as tactical as I want to build a tech company and exit it out for $1 billion. If you have that mindset, it is not going to happen. It has to be a human based mission, which is you're trying to improve somebody's life. You're using technology as a leverage to improve somebody's day at work and their life. So you have to analyze your personal mission before you kind of step into entrepreneurship. Second is you as a person, what are you trying to get out of it beyond the business? There are so many opportunities beyond the business. The first thing is that I've personally experienced is tremendous growth as a human, as a leader, and as a family member too. It opens your eyes to so much feedback. You're living your days in so many raw and real experiences that it forces you to take a step back to think. So it's an opportunity to reboot yourself and transform yourself as a human and as a professional, and you have to be locked and loaded into the mission of your business, or it's going to be a rude shock.
I
And
love locked and loaded in the mission. I'm so sorry, but I love locked and loaded into the mission. That brings us to the next. So you're locked and loaded into the mission. You're focused, and you said it a few times in what you were just saying about family and being a part of the family, and then you have the business. How do you balance it if you're able to?
I don't balance it.
I get it.
There are different popular kind of terminologies in the professional ecosystem, and one is work-life balance. Second is work-life harmony. But for me personally, when I moved from a successful corporate career into entrepreneurship, the way I would define my reality is controlled chaos. Okay, it's controlled chaos with an algorithm of priority. What I mean by that is when you are kind of, and I'm sure you experience this too, when you are at a position of the highest responsibility within a company, you cannot always have boundaries of, oh, it's 9 to 5 or it's the weekend.
Yeah.
Whenever your customers have an escalation or every problem, you have to be there because you are almost the face of the company.
Mhm.
But what I do believe in is you cannot have everything within the same 24 hours. If you have the mindset of, I'm going to be an A plus professional and A plus wife, A plus mom, A plus daughter, all on the same day, that's unrealistic. And so the way I balance my chaos is when I wake up every day, I kind of make a decision and I set an intention. I think about what are the top 3 or 5 things I got to get done that day, and then set a almost like a grade for myself for that day, which is to achieve these 3 or 5 things today. I'm going to be an A plus professional, a C wife, and a D mother. On the next day, I'm going to be an A plus mom, a C professional, and a B wife. And so you got to have these priorities and goals on a daily or a monthly or a weekly basis. And that's the only way to kind of control the chaos.
I love your ABCD. I love it. And I guess you've got over the perfectionism of having to have an A all the time, correct?
Absolutely. In my life, absolutely. But I still demand all A's from my 16-year-old son. So,
He'll just
well, I told you I was going to be authentic, but
I love authenticity. I love you when you're authentic. It just makes everything more fun and people see we're real because we are real. We are.
100%.
Mhm.
It's all everyday raw reality happening in the world of entrepreneurship here.
Oh my word. Yeah, you wake up and you're like, okay, well, that was supposed to happen. That had to be maneuvered, right? Not
Exactly.
everything goes as it's supposed to flow. We have to have an ebb about our life, about flowing with it, and just what happens. All right.
Yeah.
So you've been in both of these places pretty recently. So the first one is there is a woman standing on the edge going, I'm going to be that woman that starts whatever it is. What would you tell her to do?
You know, Angel, that's a wonderful question, and on a daily basis, I actually get a ton of DMs on LinkedIn, and sometimes from women that I've never met. And what I see are uh, two kinds of broad um, things that women are going through. Number one is I have this intense desire to go be an entrepreneur. I don't know everything about it. It's risky. And I also have a little bit of the imposter syndrome kind of going on. And I'm scared. I'm afraid.
Right.
The second type of person is I've been doing this for a while. It hasn't gone according to my plan. And I am very frustrated and it's very difficult right now. So I want to quit.
Yep.
And to both of these extremes, to the first one, I would say before you take the path of, again, entrepreneurship, you have to figure out what is your holistic picture, which is where are you in life? Where are you in career? How are you doing financially to kind of take on this risk? And how deep is your conviction to kind of take that risk? If the blocker is you not believing in yourself, you absolutely must take that chance on yourself, but do it in a way that is calculated risk versus blind risk. You have to kind of lay out all of um, your bigger scenario, your bigger picture on the table. To the second woman, I would say don't quit yet, because as we know, businesses do not fail because of competition, because of revenue, because of customer retention. Businesses fail because the founder gave up.
Mm. Yep.
And your business is you. You don't get life and time back. You cannot go back to this time, and you don't want to live a life of regret and think like, I should not have quit at that time, I should have kept going. So until every ounce of you has given up, you got to complete. But that's why it's a mission. It's not a goal, it's a mission. You got to
I,
complete the mission.
I love the saying, the business didn't fail you, you failed it because you quit. You gave up. And that's exactly
Absolutely.
what you're saying. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's pull back some curtains. I want to hear about any sneak peek or future ideas that you have. We already got a few, but do you have any other ones coming up?
We recently actually released a video of the first version of our product on LinkedIn. So I've already executed the sneak peek, which wasn't planned, but I decided to do it anyways. It's on LinkedIn if anybody wants to take a look. But I'm very encouraged by the customer feedback, and just people kind of saying positive things about the product. And right now, my whole focus in life is to get this product in the hands of as many customers and as many users as I can. And every product is only as good as the number of humans it touches and the number of people that use it. And I think what you can expect from us is, like I said, we have a starter version of the software out right now, and at some point we'll be ready to kind of talk about the enterprise version, which has a lot of more advanced features like a recommendation engine, like customers can decide to host a model on their edge, and just a lot more advanced features for the enterprise. And I'm excited about where we're going.
All right, so on LinkedIn, how do they find it to look at the sneak peek? Is it just look up your name or what?
Yeah. So if anyone can look me up on LinkedIn, I'm on there, and it's right on my page. I have it featured. So any product managers or GMs that are watching this show, please take a look and send me feedback, or hopefully become a customer of our company.
Yeah, a customer of our company would be amazing. Nexia AI,
Absolutely.
right on. All right. On a little bit more fun side, tell us something unexpected about you that we would not have expected you have done.
I'm a human of contrasts. I have two computer engineering degrees, but the surprising thing is I'm also a trained Indian classical dancer.
Ah,
I'm trained in a dance form called Bharatanatyam, which is a very intensive form of dance. It's performed. The entire dance form is in the form of you have to be in a squatting position. So it's every recital is usually about 4 or 5 hours in a single go. And I spent 12 years of my life learning that form of dance, aside from engineering.
wait, so it's in a squatting position mostly?
Yes, you actually are in a squatting position pretty much for the entire term, the entire duration of dance. You should look it up. It's called Bharatanatyam.
Okay, so I can't wait to look that up. I used to own a dance in school, so I love dance, so this is
Oh,
gonna be fun, and you know what? So I'm just gonna bring this up. You probably know this, squatting is, like, one of the most healthiest things we can do, and so
oh.
a form of dance like that is oh my god.
On another fun note, another surprising thing is I love CrossFit. So I like to lift and I like to kind of, adopt the cross training workout.
Okay, that's fun. I'd rather just dance. We'll do Pilates.
Well, you have options.
We'll do some Pilates with weights, okay? All right, let's pump up some volume. What kind of music do you like listening to?
I generally listen to music mostly during my runs because I need music that kind of invigorates me and energizes me and kind of inspires me.
And do you have a favorite song?
I do. It's called the Fight Song. I believe Rachel Platten is the singer.
She
But
is.
the lyrics of that song are so extremely powerful that they kind of it always sits in my brain when she says, "I might have only one match, but I can make an explosion." I
Mhm.
think we as women need to really get in touch with the superpowers that we have, just the energy that we hold, the amount of perseverance that we have, and just kind of draw into that energy to become who we want to be. And so, to anybody that's kind of listening who doesn't 100% believe in themselves or feel that certain ambitions are too much for them, realize that you may have only one match, but you can make an explosion. So you got to take that leap and kind of make it happen.
Wow. I love that. Make an explosion, take that leap, make it happen. Okay, and you're a jogger as well, it sounds like. You're a runner.
I am. I am. I like to run to kind of de-stress. It's a great thought clarifier for me.
I keep saying I'm gonna run, but I just don't. Okay. So next, what about a book or books that you love?
I'm actually reading this book, and I have read this book. This is my third time reading it in about 10 years. But this book is called Multipliers by Liz Wiseman. And this book talks about a leadership style. And it also talks about the energy that and the ethos that you bring to the table as a leader. So you always have two options as a leader. One option is you kind of lead with your goals, your faith, um, your way of thinking, and you kind of de-energize the team where you are higher in the hierarchy versus the team. But the kind of leadership this book talks about is called the multiplication effect, which is you learn as a leader how to tap into the powers and the expertise of everybody in the team, and you bring those powers together and you multiply the compounding effect of the skills that you bring to the table by like 100x. So it talks about different strategies that you can use and you can become as a leader, and different role personas that you can take on to kind of become a force multiplier for your company. So anybody that's an entrepreneur or a people leader will find this book extremely pragmatic, and they can apply the principles of the book to their everyday life, and they work. And I was gifted that book by my mentor at Cisco Systems 15 years ago, and
Oh,
I reach out for it every few years.
that's amazing. Talking about mentors and everything, you're also part of STEM. Can you
That's
talk
right.
about STEM and your part in it and what you do?
Yeah. So generally, when we talk about the word STEM, it is representation of women in science, technology, engineering, and math professions. And there are two broad problems within the STEM subdisciplines, and that is we as a society have made a lot of progress on the academia pipeline, which is we now have a great representation of women. Or women form about 50% of graduates when they kind of graduate out of STEM professions. That used to be a crisis 20 years ago, but it's kind of at least solved to some extent. But the issue now is while almost 50% of the of composition in STEM professions is women at graduation, by the time people reach senior leadership roles, that dwindles down to less than 10%. So we are losing female leadership in the process from graduation to C-suite leadership. And it gets a lot worse when you come to founding companies. Did you know that only 10 to 15% of technology companies in the world are founded by women?
No.
Did you know that only 1 to 2% of venture capital dollars actually go to women founded companies? Like the statistics are extremely grim.
Wow.
And it's extremely important in this moment for women to step up, whether you are a student going into corporate or leadership or founding your own company. Because what we as women do in this moment is going to decide the fate of female leadership over the next 30, 50 years. It's a very important moment in time. So I volunteer with multiple different organizations that mentors women at different places at different points in their careers.
Mhm.
Um, I volunteered with a nonprofit organization called FabFems. There is another, Southeast Asian organization called Netri. Our, Silicon Valley Business Journals actually hosts a lot of mentorship opportunities for women that I'm a part of. But I think it's important for us to support each other as a community and become mentors and champions for each other as we kind of head into the next decade and so on.
Well, thank you for that because we need you because we need women in that industry to just catapult everything to the next level of where we're going in our society as a whole.
We need women in leadership roles. I think that's when that is what true progress in a society is.
Yeah, 100%. All right, words to live by. Since we're talking about future and past and everything, let's talk about words to live by, a quote that you love.
A quote that I'm very consciously living by right now is growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone.
Say it again.
Growth does not happen in your comfort zone.
Okay, growth does not happen in your comfort zone. Oh my word. That is so true because when you're just sitting there in comfort, you're not going anywhere.
You're not. You are settling for a reality of unrealized potential.
Mm.
And so, you as a human, if you're going to realize all of your potential, you have to feel uncomfortable. You have to feel challenged. You have to feel like I'm pushing the edge of my capability. And that's where your being will choose to go to the next level. And the only, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's a mantra I'm living by for the last
I
year
might
and a
have to adapt that mantra. So does a lot of other women who are going to be hearing this. Definitely. All right, a superpower for just 24 hours. Totally, you get it. What is it? What do you want?
half. I think from where I am right now in the throes of sales, I would love to have a superpower to, influence my customers to just say yes when I'm in a pitch. That
Read
would
their
be.
mind. Read their mind, and you can change the question
Yeah, I can, I
around
can,
and,
I
like,
can,
maneuver
I
it.
can, I can work my pitch to get them to say yes, and I would love the superpower to be able to do that. But on a more serious note, I'm based in the Silicon Valley, so the crisis here is there are certain zip codes here where about 30% of households don't have access to shelter and basic nutrition and food. It's a crisis.
Mm.
And if I were to personally want a superpower in a very kind of authentic way, I would love to have resources to help all of these families. Because in this beautiful country and in this amazing economy, it's extremely unsettling for me to know and see. I volunteer with the food bank here, but it's just unsettling to see, the number of people struggling. But maybe someday.
Yeah, that would be amazing. All right, I think you need to have that one, so there you go. All right, if you believe in motivation, what do you do to get motivated? If we all have a down day sometimes, but what do you do for motivation or to pump you up?
I tap into different energy ecosystems that I have in my life. One ecosystem would be, my ex-bosses, mentors. It's my professional tribe that has always guided me and kind of been there for me. I tap into them for advice. Second is an ecosystem of other entrepreneurs and startup founders who actually live the pain. Like as we discussed earlier, Angel, you can only understand the challenges and the pain of entrepreneurship by someone who's been in that ecosystem. So second ecosystem are those startup founders, which is who say, you think it's over, but it's not. Go wake up tomorrow and address the challenge. The third ecosystem would be my all of my female friends who actually can relate to how we react or how we feel in certain circumstances versus maybe our male counterparts. And fourth is my family. That's my foundation, that's my rock. So depending on what it is that is demotivating me, I tap into these different ecosystems to kind of re-energize me and get me to keep going.
It's your people.
It's your
It's your
people.
people. Yeah, it's your people.
Can't go
All
to
right.
AI for that.
All right, talking about people, what is the best way for our audience to stay connected with you?
The best way is absolutely LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, so folks can find me there, connect with me. I would love to get to know the audience and help them in any way that I can.
Wonderful. And, mic drop moment. Do you mind sharing something with the entrepreneurs that maybe we didn't discuss about that you would really love to talk to them about and share with them?
What I would say to especially female entrepreneurs is number one, you don't need anybody's permission to succeed. So don't wait for external validation or external signals to tell you to pursue a path of entrepreneurship or to kind of guide you to your success. You own your success. You have the power to be successful. And so believe in yourself and draw in your skills and have a strategy to succeed. That's number one. Number two is around leadership, which is what I was talking about earlier. And that is you belong at the table. You belong at every table where decisions are made, where important decisions are made.
Mhm.
It's not just enough to be at the table. Make sure you have a seat at that table that you deserve, that's in alignment to the value you bring to that table. And if you are not offered that seat at a table that you belong in alignment with your value, go build a much bigger table and take others with you.
I love that. Build your own table, build a bigger table, or bring your people with you. That's always the key. All right.
Absolutely.
I loved having you on here. Oh my God, Nita. Loved it. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
love you, Angel. Thank you so much. This was such a wonderful conversation, and it was so impromptu, and I loved the way we had this conversation, and I'm your fan for life. So thank you for having me.
I'm your fan too. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.